Moving on, according to multiple reports, Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar is alive and has in fact established contact with hostage ceasefire deal mediators Qatar. Sources cited in the reports say that Sinwar cut off contact because he believed Israel was uninterested in reaching a deal. The Hamas leader established contact through Khalil al-Hayya, a senior figure in the group. Sinwar has not softened his position on the deal. He is said to have reiterated Hamas's demand, the complete withdrawal of the military from Gaza and a permanent end to the war. This even as Israel has refused any arrangement that would allow the Palestinian group to retain control of the Strip and rebuild its military strength. Sinwar's former Shin Bet security service negotiator told media that the Hamas leader was carrying 24 kilograms of dynamite in a footage of him walking through a tunnel days after the October 7th massacre. Now, the footage in question was released by the Israel Defense Forces in February and is the only publicized visual of the terror leader. The interrogator further said that Sinwar had established himself with at least 20 hostages, underscoring that there were several opportunities to kill him, but they did not go ahead with the plan, knowing that if they did, he would kill all the hostages around him. It is believed that 97 of the 251 hostages abducted by Hamas on October 7th remain in Gaza, including the bodies of at least 34 confirmed dead by the IDF. And our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us this report from Renana. Well, firstly, she talks about the status of hostage talks and how, now that the 1 year has passed, what is the situation? Listen to this.
Right, so after 1 year of absolute agony for the hostages and their families, we haven't actually heard much about the hostage talks over the past month. Israel's hostage envoy Gal Hirsch said on Monday that international pressure on Israel lessens the chances of Hamas accepting a deal, saying that Israel is working all the time to bring back the 101 hostages who are still being held captive in Gaza in the most horrific conditions. And we know from other hostages who've been released and rescued that they were subjected to rape, starvation and torture. Now, Hirsch said that Israel is making all efforts, even while it is being attacked on 7 different fronts. Senior US officials are said to believe that a deal could be unlikely by the end of President Biden's term, and White House spokesperson John Kirby blamed Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar for stalling the talks. And the US said that as it marks 1 year since Hamas's brutal terrorist attack, the US is imposing further sanctions on Hamas's fundraising routes.
Now, yesterday saw 3 projectiles fired at central Israel, and Jody was caught up in all 3. Here she tells us about what happened and have the safety guidelines changed on the center of the country.
So there were 3 sirens in central Israel on Monday, which was of course the anniversary of Hamas's October attack. Now, the day began with rocket fire from Gaza in the morning. The Israel Defense Forces said that these were intercepted and that they struck Hamas targets to thwart a planned much larger attack. In the afternoon, there was a ballistic missile fired from Yemen, which the IDF said was also intercepted, and 5 rockets were fired from Lebanon just before midnight. Now, Hezbollah claims that it hit the Glilot intelligence base, which is next to the Mossad headquarters, but the IDF said that some rockets were intercepted and some fell in open areas. There are no changes to the civilian guidelines in central Israel. Hezbollah launched around 190 rockets at Israel throughout Monday, and these were mostly at northern Israel, and restrictions are still in place there, with all border communities still evacuated. Now, on Tuesday, this is the anniversary of Hezbollah joining Hamas's 7th of October attack. Israel said that more than 10,000 rockets have been fired by Hezbollah since then, and that Israel is targeting Hezbollah to enable its citizens to return to their homes.
Now, Israel has reiterated that it plans to respond to Iran's strike. Jody also explains to us what could be expected to happen next.
So after Iran fired more than 180 ballistic missiles at Israel last week, and after years of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei calling for the destruction of the Jewish state, the Israel Defense Forces said that they're planning a response and warns that it would be serious and significant. President Biden has indicated that he's against Israel targeting Iran's nuclear or oil sites. The New York Times has quoted unnamed Israeli officials as saying that Israel could focus on Iran's military bases or leadership or intelligence targets, but could later target Iran's nuclear program if Iran responds. But unnamed Pentagon officials are reportedly considering if Israel would decide that this is the best time to target Iran's nuclear facilities. And it remains to be seen ultimately if, how, or when Israel would respond.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.